Hi everyone, I'm Terry Hartley from Rustic Barn Cards, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. My paper pumpkin kit has arrived. I'm so excited. This is the August 2020 World's Greatest. And let's look inside and see what we have. So our ink color is Pacific Point. Ooh, I'm excited about that because I do not have that ink color. And some ribbon in the Pacific Point. Looks like it's at least an inch wide. And then our stamp set. Can I put that under there? So we have a metal, like a medallion. And this medallion is a distinctive stamp. So that means when you stamp it, you're going to have some variations, so it won't be all one solid color. There'll be some highlights and some shadows. You're the best. You deserve a medal. Coach, friend, teacher, kid. Number 1. World's Greatest. This calls for a celebration. I love the stamp set. It's going to be fun. The next thing is that we have a preview for September's paper pumpkin kit, and it's called Hello Pumpkin, and you can sign up from August 11th through September 10th. Now this kit, you have enough supplies to make 20 treat boxes. So they're going to be kind of like cracker box treat packages. And you can customize them to celebrate Halloween, Thanksgiving, the autumn season, or all 3. So if you don't care for Halloween, then you can make your treat bags for autumn or for Thanksgiving. And if you like all things spooky, you can make all of them for Halloween. So there's really a lot of versatility in this kit. And also, you can use from the September kit, you'll also be able to make some cards with the supplies that you get for alternative projects. Okay, but right now we want to talk about this month, August. This is kind of like opening a present. It's always so exciting because you just don't know what's in here. Oh, I love that. Tissue paper, too. Okay. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. Let's see what we have. So I took off the wrapping. Oh, okay. It looks like we're going to be making some shaker projects. And we have some adhesive windows. Awesome. And then we have envelopes. So we have envelopes in 3 different styles. And these can be very, they can be masculine, or you can also send them to anyone. And here's some clear sheets that will go with making the shaker cards. And our card bases. And some die cuts. Some more card bases. Looks like we have some more die cut. And we have some labels that you can punch, take out and stamp. So you could use your stamps to stamp on these. Oh, isn't this gorgeous? Look at the gold foiled banner and medallion. And then we even have, you have trophies. And awesome. Then we have some more base cards. Ooh. And some die cuts. Aren't these delicate and pretty? And then below that we have our instruction sheet. So here we have with the trophies, the medal with the medallion, and over here also. So I will be making one of each card, hoping that it's helpful to you if you are new to Paper Pumpkin. And then I'm also going to make some alternatives. And then inside this brochure, it gives you step-by-step directions. And then on the back, they also have what's included in your kit, and how you can do more with this month's kit, and how you can find out more things about Paper Pumpkin. So the first card we're going to make is the shaker card. So what I like to do is to lay everything out, and now I pull together what I'm going to need. So you're going to need your very whisper white cardstock, excuse me. You'll need 2 of the gold foil die cuts, the circle point, and our ink stamp is Pacific Point, and I will be using the ink spot because I do not have that particular color, although I may be ordering it. And you need a large whisper white circle, gold foiled circle, and a smaller. You'll need your gems, the stars, for your shaker card, and I am using my own blocks, although if you are a first-time subscriber, you will receive a block in your Paper Pumpkin kit to use. This is a distinctive stamp, kind of like a metal medallion, and you'll see that when we stamp it. And then I'm going to use You're the Best, because that's what it says in the instructions. We need some ribbon, and we also need one of the frames, the adhesive frames, and then the clear little window, and then the Designer Series paper frame. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is to go ahead and fold your base card. I'm just going to, okay, and I'm going to turn that so it opens like this. I feel like I'm not. And then I'm going to take my window, the adhesive window, and I'm going to peel off. Now there's both sides have paper you can peel off, but we're just going to peel off one. So just take off one, and then we're going to place that on our base card. Maybe. Okay, now we're going to take some of our gems, open that up, and you'll put some of them right here on inside that frame. And then you're going to take your clear and lay it around your frame like this. But now you'll need to go ahead and take off the top adhesive. And then we will lay this, place this right here. That way it keeps our gems in. Then take your designer paper and go ahead and place it. And it is a little tricky. I think if we start maybe on one, like start at the bottom or the top, and place that first, and then you can just slide it right up. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we're going to lay that aside, and then we're going to bring in, and we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to open up Pacific Point. Going to ink up You're the Best. And this one is going to go on the smaller circle. Make sure I'm in your view. Then I can get my finger in there and hold it and bring it straight up. And then I'm going to lay that aside, and I'm going to stamp my medallion on my larger. But because this is, my ink spot is so small, I'm going to turn it upside down and go ahead and use it to ink up my stamp. And a distinctive stamp, you will have shadows and variations. It won't be just one solid color. And you'll see that in just a second. And I'll apply even pressure. And you see how you can see shadows. And then we are going to adhere this. I'm going to bring in some glue dots, and I am going to use my own glue dots just because they're a little easier, but you have glue dots in your kit. So it does come. Take off the backings. Sorry about that. I think we need a little more light. Okay, I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to place that right on our circle, and then I'm going to go ahead and use glue dots for You're the Best. And I'm going to bring in, I take your pick tool, put 2 glue dots and bring in my gold foil. And then I already added a couple dimensionals on the back. And we'll place that right here. And then I'm going to bring in our ribbon. Since I'm finished stamping, I am going to put the cap back on. Now in your directions, you have a ruler. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to cut 2 of these at 3. So I'm going to place it, and then cut 2 at 3 inches. And I have finished that, so I'm going to bring those in. And then I'm going to fold this in half. First piece of ribbon like this. Take my snips or scissors, and that gives us that edge. Then I'm going to do the other one. Now, do you see the difference? So this one I did make a mistake on, but that's okay. We have another side. So that's a good tip. So when you fold it in half, make sure you have it turned so the opening is at the top. The fold is down below. And then, when you snip it, it will be correct. Okay, now I'm going to bring in our little gold foiled. And I'm going to adhere those with glue dots. And we'll put another one in the back. And then we'll turn this over and we'll place these on our ribbon. And then we'll place the other gold foil on our ribbon. Trying to line it up so that's the same. Okay, then we're going to put those together. And I think I'm going to put a glue dot here to kind of keep that. So I'm just going to put a glue dot and kind of put it like that. And I probably should have maybe ironed my ribbon. That was kind of sticking up, which is why I was going to use the other end, but then I kind of messed it up, didn't I? Okay, let me get that. And then we're going to take off the adhesive off the back. Okay, and turn that, and we're going to place that right here, and then I'm going to bring in our card. And place this right here. And our card is finished. And there we go with our You're the Best shaker card. And you can shake it and the little, I don't know if you can see that, and the stars move around. Okay, let's go to our next card. Okay, so now we're going to make the card in the middle. So you'll need kind of diamond shape card base. You'll need this die. You'll need the ribbon stamp and the stamp that says you deserve a medal. And then you'll need the small, like we did on the shaker card, you'll need the small white punch, the gold foil punch. But this time you will need from a rectangle cardstock, and you'll need 2 of the vellum decorations and leaves. Okay, so go ahead and take your base card and fold it in half. If you have a bone folder, go ahead and crease that. And make sure you have it turned around so it opens like this. And then I'm going to take our layer, and I'm going to go ahead and add dimensionals in each corner and one in the middle, and we will pop that up on our base card. Okay, I'm going to turn that over, and we'll place this about in the middle. Okay, lay that aside, and let's go ahead and do our stamping. So I'm going to bring in the rectangle and our metal and our Pacific Point ink spot. And again, because it's larger, I'm going to turn my ink spot over to apply the ink. All right, and then I'm going to place this just a little bit down from the top and apply even pressure, and then hang on to the rectangle cardstock straight up. And again, this is a distinctive stamp, so you see how pretty and shadows and variations of that. And then I'm going to bring in our sentiment, you deserve a medal, and ink it up. Make sure, and then you can see this way that it has ink with the clear photopolymer stamps. You can see that you have ink everywhere. And again, press down. Sometimes I put, sometimes you use photopolymer that you would like to, sometimes I stamp that on a little bit of a pad. Makes it a little bit easier. I am going to turn this over. I wanted to have that centered a little bit better, so I'm going to try that one more time. And ink it up. Okay, let's see if we can get this more in the middle this time. Press down. Yes, I like that better. Okay, that's all the inking we need to do, or stamping rather. Okay, let's go ahead and put this card together. Okay, I'm going to bring in glue dots. And I'm just going to use, that way I don't have to use my, take your pick, and then this way the glue dots are right on, so that works better. And then I'm going to place something right there, and I'm going to put glue dots on the back of this. Works easier. Oh, well, I said that, didn't I? I'll try that again. There we go. And then we will place our metal, but right here, press that down. Then I'll bring in some glue dots. Or not glue dots, I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. So we can pop up "You Deserve a Medal." Take the backs off. And we will place this right here. And then let's add some embellishments. Before we add the embellishments, let's bring in our vellum. And I'm going to use a glue dot. And then I'm going to place it so you can see both of them. And then I'm going to put some glue dots and place it on our card. Maybe one more. Trying to place it on the leaves. And I'm going to tuck that under right here. Spread those out a little bit. Make sure you don't go over the edge, looks like I did, but I think I can actually bend that down a little bit. Okay, let's add some embellishments. I'm going to take 3 stars out of our package of gems. And we are going to add a glue dot, and I'm going to use this spatula and kind of twist it around so it's a little smaller, and pick up there we go, and again, and I'll make that kind of twist it around, pick it up, And then we'll place one over here. And we'll do that one more time. And actually, the glue dots that came in with the paper pumpkin are a little bit smaller, so they might actually work better on the stars, on the gems. And then I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add one right down here, because you can add them wherever you'd like. Okay, and here is the second card, and it matches the envelope. Okay, let's go ahead and make the third card. So now we're going to make the first card in your directions. I guess I've kind of gone backwards. And World's Greatest Coach is what it shows. I'm going to do World's Greatest Friend. You have lots of choices. You have kid, teacher, coach. So a lot of choices that you can choose. So let's make this card. So you're going to need the base card with the green, and it will open up this way. Okay, so we're going to take our layering and pop it up using dimensionals. And I'm going to put a dimensional in each corner and one in the middle. I like to add that one in the middle so it doesn't sag. Okay, I've taken the backings off. I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to try to place it as straight as I can. And then we will need 2 of the vellum. And we also will need, we're going to be stamping this little cardstock die. We'll need some embellishments and our trophy and our stamps and our ink. Okay, let's go ahead and turn these over and add some glue dots. And I think the best way is just to go ahead and add them on the leaves. I'm going to put this one here over on the side. Make sure I bring it in enough. Okay. And then this one is going to go on this side. So I can make sure I put the glue dots on the correct side, so it'll lean the right way. And I think 3 will be, that's what I'm going to use. Okay, we'll lay that aside, and then we're going to do our stamping. So we're going to bring in our trophy. And we're going to stamp World's Greatest right there. So I'll ink up my stamp. And looks like it looks good. World's Greatest. And then I'm going to stamp on this small. And I'm going to use friend. I know the direction says coach, but I have lots of friends. And I also thought about using kid. I have 4 granddaughters, so there we go. I would probably use adhesive, but since that is, like glue, or liquid glue, but I'm going to go ahead and just use glue dots because that is what you have in your kit, and I want to try to use what you have so you can recreate this. Okay, and then we're going to turn this over, And before we need some ribbon. Again, 3 inches. And I already cut 3 inches, and I did do this side. We're also going to make the same one. So we're going to fold it in half. And remember, we want the folded edge on the bottom. Because I learned that the hard way, didn't I, on the first card that we made. And then snip it. And then we have that. And then we're going to adhere this right here. Trying to see if it looks different one side or the other, so it has the back side. Okay, and I'm going to put some glue dots right here so we can add our ribbon. And then we're going to pop up our trophy. So I'm going to add glue dots, or not glue dots, dimensionals. Keep interchanging those, don't I? I'm sorry. We're going to pop this up with dimensionals. All right. Now we'll take the caps off, tops off. Okay, and I have that done. I'm going to bring in our card, and we will place our ribbon at the bottom. Get our trophy straight. Let's try that again. Get our vellum back there. There we go. All right, and let's add some embellishments. I'm going to bring in the glue dots that come with the kit. I think they're a little bit smaller. So I'm going to place them where I want the embellishments, where I'm going to put the stars. I think I'm just going to add 2 right there, and maybe maybe 1 right here. And you know what I just noticed is that I need to see the, can you see the trophy? We need to, there's a little piece that I didn't pop out for that handle, but we can still do that. There we go. Now I'm going to take the tops of the glue dots off. And I am going to take the spatula part of my, take your pick tool to take that off. And then I'm going to pick up a star and place it right on the glue dot. And we'll do the same with the other. All right, and here's our 3rd card, World's Greatest. And let me bring in the matching envelope. So this is our card with the matching envelope. That we just finished. And then here is our 2nd card with the matching envelope. And then our shaker card with the matching envelope. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed watching how to make each of the cards that come in your paper pumpkin kit. And now for some alternatives. I just want to say, if you think you only have 2 frames for your shaker cards, the 3rd one is kind of hiding. So at first I thought, oh, I only have 2 and I need 3. But if you'll notice, the dimensionals are tucked in here, and you can just take out your dimensionals, and then here is your 3rd frame to make your 3rd shaker card. Okay, just a little tip. For my first alternative card, I'm going to make a shaker card. So I am using Whisper White cardstock for the base, and then I put the frame that comes from a paper pumpkin kit, and I'll have the dimensions down in the description later. And then I stamped Kid, and I took this piece and I went ahead and stamped number 1, and I'm going to lay this right here, and then I'm going to turn it into a shaker card. So what I'm going to do is to turn this over, and I'm going to lay this clear plastic. So I'm going to place it right here, and it's going to be flat. And then I'm going to add dimensionals on the sides. I don't really need to worry. I am going to enclose it with some adhesive strips, so I don't really need to have this closed all the way right now. It will be later, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. But I just need this to adhere to the card. So I'm just going to use some glue dots. And then I just cut this to make sure. Of course, the only thing is you really need to have your glue dots. I don't want any glue dots in the middle, so I guess I wasn't paying attention, was I? So we'll just get those off. That may be easier said than done. Okay, so I took it off with my finger. It's like I had trouble with the other shaker card too that I did. Anyway, when you put this on, learn from my mistake. Make sure you just put a couple on each side, and I really was going to do at the top and the bottom. But so now I'm going to adhere the adhesive strips, and notice that I cut this so it will fit over the top of the circle without showing on the other side. And then I'm going to press that down. Then I'm going to take off just one side, and I want to make sure I'm going to lay this straight down, but again, so it doesn't show on this side. And then this other piece on the bottom, I'm going to double check and make sure. And I think I need to do a little bit of trimming, so let me do that. All right, so I have that cut, and now I can place this right down in here. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to add our gems. I think I'm going to open it this way so it's flat. So this is going to be like number 1 Kid with shaker card. And then I will take off the backing. And then turn that over. Looks like that one piece is showing just a little bit. All right. And then we're going to place it and right over this and now you have a number 1 Kid, and you have a shaker. So number 1 Kid, and we could also add some more embellishments to the card. So this is one alternative. a shaker card, number 1 kid. So let's make another card. This next card we're going to make could be a birthday card. So I've taken Whisper White cardstock and cut it in at 5.5 by 8.5. Scored it, folded it in half, and then I did cut knit. So for our next card, this could be a birthday card. I've taken Whisper White cardstock and I cut it 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it, folded it in half, and then I took mint macaron cardstock 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to layer that right onto the card base. So bring in my liquid glue. Then I will line this up. And then what I did, I took one of the card bases from the paper pumpkin kit, and I cut it so I can make 2 cards out of 1. So this is the one that I'm going to use. And I'm going to layer it right on top of here. Today I'm actually filming in a different place. We were at our summer home or cabin. So I brought several things with me so I could make this video. Paper pumpkin kit is fairly easy to take with you because it's all inclusive. Okay, layer that. And then, like I said, this calls for a celebration. It could be a birthday card. You can stamp happy birthday inside. And I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to, I took one of the vellum flowers and I cut it in half. And I'm going to adhere this by using glue dots. So I will put a glue dot. And I want to make sure that, and it was, I wanted to come from the top. And then place it this way. There we go. And we are going to, what I did on the circle is that I took a sponge dauber and I use one of the labels from the back to put around so I'll know that this is, you know, what color this is. And then I just dabbed in here and took my circle after I stamped, and I just flick around. So that is how you get you just turn the, so that is how I did this, to give it that kind of shadow effect. And then we are going to, I have 2, I took the little gold foil and I cut it in half. I'm going to place it on each side. And I'm going to bring in 2 of those because I actually took one and I cut it in half, and then I just cut this way and then this way, so I would make so they both had the same. And then I'm going to add a glue dot and put it on each side of our circle punch. So let's do that. And I'm going to put that on the front, on the top. I'm going to use my grid paper to kind of make sure I line it up correctly or straight. And then, again, I'm going to add a glue dot, put it on the top, and then come over here and try to. And that way, you save all of this and you have the gold foil on each side. Then I'm going to turn this over and pop it up with dimensionals. And I'll take the backings off. And bring in our card. I'm going to kind of center this. This calls for a celebration. And we could add some stars, our gems from our paper pumpkin. We could take some Bumblebee ribbon and tie a little ribbon, make a little bow. We could add that. But this way, this as it is now, and we could add some star embellishments. It could be a masculine card. And again, we could stamp inside, happy birthday. So here is a second alternative card. And let's make a third one. The third alternative card that we're going to make from the August 2020 Paper Pumpkin is going to be You're the Best. So we're going to be using some of the blue ribbon, and this time we're going to need 2 of the gold foil, and I have already cut my ribbon, and this is cut, I believe it's a little over 2 inches, but again, I'll have the exact measurements in the description below. And then I took the smallest circle and I stamped You're the Best. And then I used Bumblebee cardstock for the base, for our base card base. And I took the card base out of the paper pumpkin and I cut it in half, and then I went ahead and cut this again 4 by 5 1/4, and it is going to be layered on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually, I'm not going to do it yet because I'm going to add the ribbon, so we don't want to glue this on there yet. Okay, now we're going to add the ribbon. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to use snail glue. And I'm going to use the Stamp and Seal Plus. It's a little stronger than the regular, and it's also a little smaller, and for my hands, the Stamp and Seal Plus fits my hands better. And then I am going to make sure this is lined up. This will be covered up in the middle. And glue. And then I'm going to add glue dots. On the ribbon. Because normally we're going to be using 2 pieces, but then we're going to cover it up so you won't know that we're using 2 pieces of ribbon. So that's the plan anyway. Sometimes plans work out and sometimes they don't. Okay. And see, this will be covered. This will be covered up. Okay, let me go ahead and we will add You're the Best. And then I want to, before I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, but I want to go ahead and add foil to make a medal. So I'm going to put a glue dot at the top. And then I also want one on the top of this. So I'm going to overlap these. And then this glue dot is still here, so it will adhere to the and then I'll turn this over and add some dimensionals. And we'll take off the caps or the tops, the backings of the dimensionals. All right. And then we're going to place this right here. You're the Best. And now we are going to add adhesive to our layer and add it to our Bumblebee cardstock. Sometimes I had to stop, and my glue had just a little bit of dry glue at the top, so sometimes you have to take that off. Okay. Didn't see that fall on my hands, did you? But it's all good because the liquid glue gives you a little bit of time to get things lined up. So here is another alternative, and let me show you another one more card that I already have finished, and it's similar to this, but I stepped it up one more notch. So here's the other card that I made, and I went ahead and used Bumblebee cardstock. I used 2 layers and put You're the Best and with the ribbon. Then another card that we made, and then the shaker card. All right, now I have all the 4 that we made today. And again, you could add some bows and some more embellishments. I really tried to use what was in the paper pumpkin kit. I had some other ideas, but I decided to try to give you alternatives using, I did use Bumblebee cardstock, but other than that, I really tried to use what was in the kit so you could make some alternative cards too. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed Paper Pumpkin August 2020. You may sign up for September Paper Pumpkin now through September 10th. Go to terryhartley.stampinup.net. Thank you for watching and have a great day.